Hello there again, Curt Fuhrmannek, CX Solutions Engineer with Vertical Communications. Glad to be with everybody today. This is again a part of our customer experience education series that we're doing here at Vertical Communications, trying to provide, as it says, some practical tips for a better customer experience across your whole organization. Today, we'll be addressing in this session the secret to a winning customer retention strategy is what we'll be dealing with. So customer retention and how customer experience can be a key component of success for that retention will be the focus of today's webinar. As such, the agenda for today will entail these items. First of all, we're going to address what exactly is customer retention and why would we care about it as its importance. Around that, we'll be looking at the three key customer experience solutions that showed up continually in my research as we went through this topic. And those three are personalization, immediacy, and the need for self-service, producing a seamless experience, including with that the key component of mobility. Beyond that, we'll move to what are some of the customer experience trends that are going on in the future and include some other applications that are key to this, such as agent assist and artificial intelligence. And then we'll finish up with a quick discussion about who Vertical is. Now, what is customer retention? It is, as it states here on the slide, it's all about building relationships with your existing customers. So that's the key thing here is what can we do with those that are already under our wings? We want to make sure we provide value with every interaction that we have with them and memorable experiences. And we're talking about memorable experiences. We want them to be positive, memorable experiences so that they can pass that information along to others that they have within their world. A little bit more about customer retention. Again, it's all about meeting your customer expectations and building loyalty. And getting that loyalty is key to be able to get them to return for more purchases, services, whatever you're able to offer them on a continual basis. So how would you actually then calculate customer retention? Well, there is a formula for that, and it's based around what they call a customer retention rate. And again, this is a percentage that is provided around the customers that you have, and you're able to maintain and keep them as a part of your world over a period of time. And that's the other thing that's a key element of this is that it is a time-based metric. Again, a little bit more as far as calculating the retention. It's all about the difference of the new customers that your company is attracting minus those that you lose. And the key term on this slide that we're looking at is churn. And that's what it's called when you have customers that stop purchasing goods and services from you, cancel contracts or subscriptions, whatever may be the case. Again, the goal here is to try to minimize the amount of churn that you have. The lower the churn, the higher the retention level that you have. The actual formula that's used in order to tabulate this is what we are presenting for you now. It is at the top, the number of customers that you have at the end of your period, and then you deduct from that in the numerator of the top part, the number of customers that you have acquired. So that'll give you the delta of those that were lost. And then along with that, across the bottom, the static component to this, or the denominator, which is the number of customers that you actually had to start at the beginning of that period. And that is a resultant percentage, and that is your customer retention rate. Okay, so let's take this from this formula and actually give some reality to it with an example. So let's say that in the business that you're in the month of January, you started with 750 customers. So that's a part of what you're going to be using at the bottom end. That's the static component that you're measuring against. Now you've gained 125 customers during the month, but you've also lost 60 customers during that same month. So what you need to do is figure the new value at the top, which is what did you end up with at the beginning of the month? So you take that 750 number that you started with, add in the new customers that you had, deduct out the ones that you've lost, and that'll then give you the one of the numbers that you need at the very top in the numerator, and that is where were you as far as your number of customers at the end of the month. So in this particular example, you ended up with 815 by adding the 125 and deducting the 60. That's a net gain of 65 to that 750, hence the 815 total. To actually then calculate the customer retention rate, you take that number that you ended up with, deduct out those that you've gained. That'll give you a resultant number, which in this case, the 815 minus the 125 would give you a total of 690. Divide that by the static amount of where you started the month with, which happened to be 750, multiply that number by 100, and then that will then give you the percentage, which in this particular case would have been a retention rate of 92%. Now, how would a number like that compare to your business? Well, some data pulled from Statista's industry retention rates found that based upon maybe whatever field you're in, you may see something that matches up in the industry that is relevant to you. If you're in the retail business, your retention rate's really about 2/3. But yet, if you start moving into the professional services, IT realm, you really should expect a retention rate of 80% plus. So, good source of information there from Statista. They've got more data if you need for more of the industries that might be relevant to you and where you fit in. So again, what is customer retention? It's all about the number of customers that you're able to keep in your sphere of influence, retaining them. And again, it's over a period of time, right? With the calculation we just showed you, we were measuring that over a month. You can measure it over a year. You can measure it over a 5-year period, whatever may be pertinent to you in your analysis. And again, it's percentage based, and you want to see how you're doing over that period of time against others in your industry to know how well you're performing, as well as being able to meet those goals. Now, that's a little bit of what retention is. Okay. And how do you calculate it? But why is it important? Well, several key things, and these next slides will show that. The first one is just around cost. According to studies that I've done research on here, and for some reason I had always been under the impression that it had been like about a 3 to 4 time cost. Number of sources I found stated what you see here. It really is 6 to 7 times more expensive to get a new customer than it is to retain one that you already have. It's a huge cost savings to be able to retain as many customers as you can. Based upon that also, if you can increase just by 5% your retention rate, it can have a significant exponential change in your revenue of up to 25 to 95%. The other thing too is that those that have loyalty to you and that you are able to retain, they actually spend more on a customer basis for each incremental spend that they do have. And finally, very important part of this, those that you are able to retain are more satisfied. And the more satisfied they are, the more they are to recommend them to other people within their sphere of influence. And those are new customers that you can gain at no additional cost. So more data around all of that. Similar, just a different way of looking at it from this degree of research, 5 times cheaper to retain your current customers than to get new ones. On a resale basis, you will actually, with the customers you have, be able to do resales on that customer base of between 60 and 70%. And if you release any new products or services, those existing customers are more likely to spend 30% more than a brand new customer would for the same initial sale. And overall, that just leads to higher profits with a metric they call the lifetime customer value. So you'll get more value out of each customer by being able to do that. So when it comes to retention, what's important to know? Again, it's percentage based and it's a metric that measured over time, and you determine what that criteria is. It's again all about building the relationships with your existing customers. Remember that it costs a lot less, 5 times less to retain a customer than it does to acquire a new one. You'll get higher initial sales of brand new product releases or services as they come out from those that you do retain. And again, the referrals that you can get to expand your base can be done at no additional cost because of loyalty and retention and people wanting to draw others into the services that you're able to provide for them. Now, beyond that, we know understand what retention is and why it's important. What are some of the key solutions that we can utilize to be able to retain these people and do it within the customer experience realm? Well, in my research, I found that there were 3 key customer experience solutions to retention. The first of these I wanted to address with you here is called personalization. So what is personalization? Again, it's basically interacting with people and letting them know that you know who they are when you're interacting with them. So you're trying to tailor your communications, whether or not it's something that you're sending outbound to them, or in the immediacy of them reaching to you, letting them know that you know who they are and why they're important to you. That's what personalization is all about. Now, let's look at some of the key metrics when it comes to personalization. Why would it be important? Well, from this study I pulled here, it says that 80% of your customers are more likely to buy if you personalize the communication with them. And of that, 59% say that it's really important that that personalization is there because of the previous encounters that they've had with you, that you recognize that they are a returning customer and that they have this additional value to you. If you're not able to provide those types of services to them by letting them know that you recognize them, you create a frustrating impersonal experience. 71% will become frustrated with that, and nearly 2 in 3 will actually walk away from you if they have a bad experience. That's further reinforced with this slide here from another data source that I got when it comes to personalization. The first of those is what they call a metric called higher conversion rate. So what we're talking about here is that a personalized interaction which delights your customers and will convince them to spend more with you. And by that, then they're able to then buy more items or more services because you're able to provide that customized service for them. You will also increase your what they call your average order value. So personalization for shopping experiences can drive impulse purchases. A study found that 49% of the customers bought items that they did not intend to buy simply because they were dealing with a personalized experience and recommendations from those they were interacting with for the brand to create another additional upsell. Additionally, better lead nurturing. What we mean by that is, again, customer loyalty. So when businesses have a culture of keeping your customers first, putting them at the forefront, personalization, and being engaged with them from the initial stages of the client journey, you will then raise their expectations and you will then also raise the customer loyalty. And that all ends up at the very bottom to what we're talking about, which is retention. What they found in the study also is that a lack of personalization can frustrate, again, over 70% of respondents. And what we learned is that you frustrate those customers, 2 out of every 3 will be more willing to walk away from you. So what would be an excellent tool to potentially use for personalization? Well, one of them is around the use of automation. And what I've got here on the screen is an example of a chatbot conversation that's done with Julie. That's a service, a chatbot service from Amtrak. And what this service is providing is the ability to, with an automated chatbot, be able to get a request from a customer, find out where they would like to travel, be able to drill down more specifically in that travel, what exact station, if there are multiple stations available within that environment that they wish to travel to and from, being able to customize all of that, and then if they need to, be able to make that purchase online. So you're getting personalized data that is driven based upon what the customer is requesting, and it provides a smoother customer journey. You're getting some real-time personalization based upon the request that you're making, and there's less friction and more convenience. So it's a great way to be able to provide some personalization is with the use of some automated tools, such as a chatbot. Some other methods of personalization involve the use of your customer relationship manager or CRM tools. And some of the coordination and integration you can get between your CRM and your customer experience teams can be wrapped around five different topics. The first of those is around speech analytics. So with speech analytics, it's not just a matter of just keeping a copy of the transaction. It's also getting some, we'll talk about this further, AI or artificial intelligence analysis to perhaps show the sentiment of the customer and how it evolved during that transaction or that experience. Also, you have the ability to create with the speech analytics some what they call automatic call dispositioning. This now frees up the agent so they don't have to go through and select what was the response and what was their feeling of the sentiment of the call or what the result was. We can let the system provide that, free up the agent from that burden, and get some more true analytics of what exactly occurred in that interaction. Also, with the reporting tools, let's allow your customer experience tools and data to embed into your customer relationship management CRM tools and give you a more complete picture of what exactly is happening with each one of the interactions that you have with your customers. We can also use virtual assistants, self-service chatbots, such as what I had just shown you with the Amtrak tool. Here again, now I've got the ability to be able to automate a lot of routine tasks and be able to, if I need to, move that task as on an as-need basis from a chatbot to a live agent for some more complex issues if that's required. And also because we're able to capture the data, move it to the correct resource. So now the customer doesn't have to repeat any of the data. Two more of the tools, the use of at the agent desktop level, making sure we get the as much info as possible about what the customer has done in the past with us. Have they had prior orders? Have they requested prior services? Have they needed additional tickets in the past? Bring that to the forefront so that can be recognized by the agent. Help personalize and let them know that yes, you are a returning customer. You have value to us. Okay, deliver that into that agent interface. And then finally, proactivity and personalization tools. So with this, we're talking about, if you're using chat, email, or some other digital channels such as social media, you can send out notifications on order statuses, new product offerings, discounts or coupons are available, things like that to help keep the customer engaged with you. So these are all methods of personalization you can use and integrate with your existing CRM systems. The second key item that my research found relevant to customer experience tools in maintaining customer retention was around the need for immediacy of information and the availability of self-service. So what is self-service? As it says here, it's all about taking routine tasks, let them be handled digitally without any assistance from a live person, if at all you can. Along with that, provide the information that a lot of customers could use that are routine, such as step-by-step guides, FAQ pages, how-to videos, things that you would want to be able to find on how to do something to have some degree of self-sufficiency. Let's give them self-service tools to do the self-sufficiency that the customer is requesting. And then finally, if you need to just find out the status of an order, an update, whatever may be the case, that's another great use of self-service. What are some of the benefits of using self-service? Well, the first one is being able to leverage some customized information. So self-service portals, again, can help clients solve their issues effectively by using their past data and suggesting more accurate tools that they can utilize on the go forward. Increasing the customer positive response is all about, when customers get access to easily resolving their issues, get the necessary tools that they're needing, and getting some expert guidance, that'll strengthen the relationship that they have with you. And then that experience will yield a stronger brand reputation, giving the customers the best personalized service and more means of being able to do recommendations to their friends and family. Hey, if you really want a good experience and need to be able to reach out to these folks, you can get what you need readily. And then finally, personalization of the customer experience. Again, address each of the customers by name, whether it's in your chat tool, voice, whatever you're doing, right? Keep a record of everything that they've been a part of, where the products and services that they purchased in the past, and then provide them any relevant information that can assist them based upon what they're requesting now and what their past patterns are. So these are all means of being able to use self-service, and so what some of the benefits can be. Now let's look at the numbers. Why is it important? Gone are the days of I'm going to send an email off and hopefully I get an answer in 24 hours. That's not expected anymore. 90% of your consumers want a response within 10 minutes. That's what immediacy is all about. And this next number was just stunning to me. 89% of customers want to communicate via text, but only half, less than half, 48% of businesses allow them the capability to do so. A huge miss by a lot of business. And also when it comes to self-service immediacy, we Americans, it's all about getting everything we can as quickly as we can. So for us, 80% of us, it's all about speed, convenience, getting the right information. All of that is a part of having a positive customer experience. How about more of the numbers? Another stunning number. 2/3 of us would prefer self-service over having to talk to somebody. Let's, if 2 out of 3 want it, let's give it to them. Let's give them a chance to be able to get what they need self-service wise, but give them access to the live agent if need be. And most of those, it's all about trying to get to an online knowledge base or some other component like that. 91%. Oh, and by the way, it's a good percentage now to start with. So at 25% in 2019 we're using it, but by the end of next year, nearly 40% will be self-service as far as the interactions are concerned. What's an excellent tool for being able to provide this level of self-service? How about the use of what we call an intelligent virtual agent? What are these available to do? Well, they're available 24/7. So you have the immediacy, which is required by us. It's flexible. With an intelligent virtual agent, you can either speak what you're requesting to do, or you can use your DTMF tones, whichever you prefer to do. With a lot of these, with intelligent virtual agents, they can communicate on multiple channels. So I can use voice, but I can also use SMS. I can also use chat. We can also use social media channels. It's very inclusive in all that it has capability wise. It's also seamless. So if I've been dealing with a self-service component, such as a chatbot or some other automated component, I can then take that and escalate that to a live agent and have all that data transferred through seamlessly. And then finally, that also has the capability of working with your CRM to be able to push and pull the data that you need on the back end so that the customer has the most pleasurable experience as possible. And also you're able to keep and maintain the data that you need to help retain that customer. The third of the research topics that I was able to see continually over and over pop up when it came to customer experience tools and for retention was about providing a seamless experience and the importance of mobility around that experience. So let's take a look at some of these. So what do we talk about with a seamless experience? Now, we're going to change a definition that you're used to. So oftentimes when you are in the contact center realm, you see omni-channel, we're talking about, well, is it voice, is it chat, is it email, is it social media? When it comes to customer retention, omni-channel is slightly different. It's more of making sure that you're able to maintain the same level of quality of service no matter which mode you are communicating with, i.e., did I walk into a store? Or am I doing it over mobile or desktop? Or am I calling in? That's what's important. So now we're starting to bring in that physical component too, i.e., I can walk into a store. I should have the same omni-channel experience whether I walk into a store or I reach out to you and I try to access something via my mobile phone. Let's look at the numbers. Why would that be important? Well, right now, 80% of companies are investing in providing the best omnichannel experience that they can do. 80%. And those that are investing that are finding at a minimum a 10% year-over-year growth by being able to provide the best of those experiences. And a key piece of what they're driving for that omni-channel experience is around the mobile experience. 84% of customer-centric companies are improving the mobile customer experience. Now, why would mobile be such a key piece of this? More of the numbers. Another stunning number here. For the first time ever, 52% of website traffic is on your mobile device, not on the desktop, on your mobile device. And of course, there are the requests for goods and services. And as such, $312 billion has been generated in commerce in just the US alone in the year 2020. That's expected to grow at a minimum of 15% every year, so that by the time we end up on 2025, that 312 billion is to grow to be somewhere right around $700 billion in sales for goods and services just from using your mobile device. A little bit more as to why it's important. If a potential customer or a customer that you already have isn't getting a good experience from your mobile devices, whether it be over social media, a web page, whatever you're providing for them for services, 50% of them will walk away. About the same percent say a bad mobile experience will make them less likely to engage. And 90% of customers are reporting having a poor experience when seeking customer support on mobile devices. There's a lot of room for improvement here. And there's a lot of emphasis then that to make that seamless experience needs to be driven to the mobile level and what you're providing for them at the mobile level. So how can we improve that? Well, number one, let's make sure that we provide multiple channels of access. So let's make sure that they have the ability to either call you if they need to. You can SMS, chat, social media. Those should all be a part of your solution that are readily available to be used from mobile devices. Let's make sure that if you are doing something automated, that the bot provides the personalization you're looking for, but then you can also easily hand that off to a live agent with no loss of data or context of what the conversation or interaction has been. You need to make sure that the data that's accessible for them, if they're reaching out for a status update, what order, whatever may be the case, ticket status, make sure it's able to push and pull from your CRM. And again, availability. We're on our mobile phone. It's all about access. It's all about immediacy. It's all 24/7. So those were the three key tools that we were looking at in research on the customer experience side of what we can provide to help with retention. What are some of the trends of what we were also able to find in our research, and what does the future hold for us? Well, when it comes to customer experience, This was a great title that I pulled from one piece of research. They call it the new battlefield. And it really is, because as these numbers show here, again, nearly two-thirds of a customer will walk away after two bad experiences. 88% of companies today, right now, are starting to prioritize customer experience in their contact centers, and 2 out of every 3 see it as the primary means of competing for their customers. Customer experience is leading the way for that. And that data is further borne out with this slide here too. This comes from research from the Temkin Group, finding that prioritization for companies over the next few years will all be around customer experience as their number one topic. It won't be pricing and it won't be product, it'll be customer experience. In fact, the Temkin Group, which did this research, found that companies that are earning over $1 billion annually can expect an additional $700 million in additional revenue within 3 years of investing in customer experience. SaaS companies, that increases up to $1 billion. That means that by implementing customer experience as a key priority and driver going forward, the Temkin Group found that it can literally double your revenue. So what does the future of personalization hold for us? Well, here again, the omni-channel world is the key. Now here we're going back to the customer experience topic of omni-channel. So now we're talking about the utilization of voice, of chat, of email, and of using social media. Along with that, the use of digital enablement, self-service channels, live agents only for critical tasks, advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, NLP, and NLP stands for natural language processing. All of these to help give tools such as the ability to provide real-time sentiment analysis to an agent while they're engaged with a customer to be able to streamline the conversations that they're having and take the sentiment, which may be on a negative or even neutral position from the customer, and turn that into a positive sentiment during that same interaction. From this study, which I pulled from the global state of the customer experience, you'll see on the left-hand side the top trends as what the companies that are using customer experience tools see as important. And on the right, you see the customer experience providers, those that are selling and providing these services. Although they're not perfectly aligned, there's a lot of overlap between the two that does match up. But most importantly, this was a terrific quote that came from the report that again, all the trends listed in the top 10 contribute to the primary goal for the CX practitioners, the ones that are using the customer experience for retention. All of them are all focused around customer loyalty and retention, the topic of today's conversation. Further, as far as trends are concerned, one of the big trends you're going to see here in the future is the use of AI or artificial intelligence. As far as artificial intelligence and its use around the customer, it's going to be important for use as far as understanding customer behavior. So we're going to be able to look at the transactions that have occurred in the past as well as those that are ongoing, try to measure sentiment, see how they interact, what the loyalty pattern is, how are they interacting with us, which channels of media, and how and what are they requesting, and trying to understand how the customer thinks and behaves and feels about you as a company. Part of that, again, is also the interaction history, which I've already touched on. Along with that, it's going to be seeing what channels they're using, how often are they going to those virtual channels that are available, how often do those have to escalate to a human agent, and again, what types of channels are they engaging with us? Are they doing it on the social media channels? Are they doing with chat? Are they doing with voice what's most important to them? And then finally, also, what's going on with the customer when it comes to customer experience events? And with an event, a good way of looking at that with the customer journey would be such as an abandoned cart. Somebody has gone to the effort to go through a website, whether it be on your mobile device or from your computer or a tablet. They've added items to a shopping cart, but yet they've not made that final purchase. Well, where AI can come in, it can alert you when you have some of these items, be able to reach out proactively and see what it will take for that customer to complete the sale and empty out that abandoned cart that they've left for you. And artificial intelligence isn't just on the customer side, it's also for the agent. On the agent side, what artificial intelligence can help provide is a boost of, as it says, employee engagement. So you can get real time guidance, meaning the customer has requested something, and you can get real time guidance on how to streamline that conversation or to provide the most positive feedback to engage that customer, turn that into a positive experience. And every positive experience that a customer has makes the job of the agent that much easier and helps bring them a level of happiness and contentment in the job that they wouldn't have otherwise. Along with that, AI can help inform the agents so that if they are in a position where they are simply handling what is going on as far as a complex issue that is being handed to them from a self-service channel, they can get all of that information pulled through. They can do the confirmation. They can streamline the process, have a happier customer, have more knowledge to work with, and provide a more personalized service as a result of all of these items. Now, what are some of the numbers around that? Well, currently, we're on pace so that by the end of 2023, 40% of all customer interactions will have an element of AI associated with them, and it's growing rapidly. By the end of 2025, that's going to more than double to 95%. And when it comes to the spend on these types of technologies, 641 billion is the estimated spend on all customer experience technologies across the board. Another big trend that you're going to see in the future is the use of a feature known as Agent Assist. Now, what is Agent Assist? It is all about providing resources to the agents so they can have smarter customer conversations. And it also acts like a personal assistant to automate some repetitive work so the agent can focus on the customer. And what we're talking about with that type of repetitive work, that might be pulling up information about the customer. It could also be automating the completion of a call, where it looks at the conversation and assesses how did it end and provides the correct disposition for that type of a call. Again, it can also provide real-time analysis, gives the agent the most relevant information, puts it at their fingertips. It's going to reduce response times, and again, try to provide the best outcomes for the customer as well as the agent. Here's an example of what Agent Assist can look like. So in this initial interaction, if we look at the bottom, it says there was an incoming call that came in about a request about a mobile SIM card. But yet this customer, because of where they were status-wise with the company, AI was able to bring in additional information and provide a task list for questions that the agent can engage the customer with. And if they can check off enough of these, it would then make sense for that customer to be able to potentially move up in a plan and have something that is a better fit for the customer, but is also an upsell for the company, benefiting both. And now this is an interaction being driven by this agent assist with some AI component to help streamline that process and benefit both at the end of the day. So, what are some key thoughts to take away from today's discussion? First of all, it's around retention, and retention is key to generating more sales with less investment. Your customer experience solutions should involve the three key components to help drive retention, those of personalization, self-service, and providing a seamless experience across all of the channels. Also, be aware of the customer experience trends. They're going to be using a lot more artificial intelligence. They'll also be utilizing assistance for both the customers as well as the agents. What do we recommend? This is now going back to the original topic. What's the secret for retention? Well, the secret is ensuring that your customer experience teams are at the forefront of your customer retention initiatives. To do that, you need to empower your customer experience teams with the right tools to personalize each customer interaction. Give them real-time guidance. In that way, the customers will also have choices between using self-service or live agent access and be able to do so over multiple channels, whatever is the choice of channel for that customer. Now, today's webinar has been hosted by Vertical Communications. Vertical Communications is your comprehensive communication provider. We've got decades of experience, and we've been delivering tailored solutions for your business needs. Why would you work with us? Again, we have a history of being business partners and trusted advisors to tens of thousands of companies of all sizes. Importantly, to match up with today's conversation, we're here to help you retain that customer database, providing solutions to maximize each and every agent interaction. The solutions that we have can provide such items as an intelligent virtual agent. This will allow you to be able to use self-service capability as needed on a omni-channel experience, be it chat, email, voice, whatever may be the case. And then finally, the power to interact with your customer applications, your CRMs, to make sure that you provide the best customer experience the first time, every time. Thank you very much for your time today. And Vertical Communications thanks you also.